whereby some salts lose parts or all their water of crystallization when they are exposed to the atmosphere. Examples of salt that behaves this way is washing soda. What is washing soda? This is the formula of washing soda. .10 H2O. It undergo a fluorescence. A fluorescence where it will lose 9 out of 10 moles of the water of crystallization. So automatically the product of this reaction becomes 9H2O. So it has succeeded in losing 9 molecules of the 10 that is starting with. So this process is what we call a fluorescence. Deliquescence. What is deliquescence? This is a phenomenon in which some compounds absorb a large amount of water on exposure to the atmosphere so that they eventually turn into solution. Examples of substances that undergo deliquescence. Number 1 is sodium hydroxide. Number 2 is calcium hydroxide. Remember that having absorbed moisture or water of crystallization when they are exposed to the atmosphere, they eventually form a solution. Hygroscopy is the last one. In the hygroscopy, the phenomenon is similar to deliquescence, but the compound do not turn into solutions. That is the difference between deliquescence and hygroscopy. They absorb large amount of water when exposed, but they do not turn to what? Solutions. But in the case of deliquescence, those substances having absorbed large amount of water from the atmosphere, they turn into solutions. Examples of substances that exhibit hygroscopy. 1, you have your quicklime. Quicklime with the formula CaO. You have copper 2 oxide with formula CO. You also have sodium triazonitrate, NaNO3. So these are examples of compounds that exhibit hygroscopy. Solubility of salts. What is solubility? The solubility of a salt is the amount of the salt that can be dissolved in the 1 dm cube of solution at a particular temperature. So the formula: concentration in gram per dm cube is equal to concentration in mole per dm cube times molar mass. This is what is referred to as solubility. Concentration in mole per dm cube is what is referred to as solubility. Therefore, it is expressed in mole per dm cube. Questions. Acid anhydride is the same as A. Dry acid, B. Acid that increase its volume when exposed to air, C. Air acid made by drying the reactant first, D. Acid made from oxide of non-metals. Number 2, which pH value indicates a basic solution? A -1, B 0, C 3, D 7. Number 3, tetrasulfate 6 acid is described as a strong acid because it is highly A. corrosive, B. concentrated, C. soluble in water, D. ionized in water. Answers. The answer to question 1 is D. because acid made from oxides of non-metals are known as acid anhydride. Question 2. Going through the pH scale, value 7 stands for neutrality. That is the neutral. So the answer to question 2 is D, 7. Question 3. Strong acid ionized completely in water. So the answer to question 3 is ionized in water. D. Water. The major sources of water we have include rainwater, spring water, well water, river water, lake water, and sea water. The types of water are: 1. Hard water. When is water said to be hard? When is water said to be hard? It will not form later or lather readily with soap. It contains a number of dissolved salts of calcium, magnesium sulfate, and hydrogen carbonate. So a hard water can only be recognized when it is perceived that it contains calcium, magnesium sulfate, and hydrogen carbonate. Soft water. It will form lather readily with soap. Those dissolved salts are absent. That is why soap can easily be formed, lather can easily be formed to ensure effective washing. Pollutants. What are pollutants? Pollutants are the contaminants that come into any system and cause negative effect on it. Contaminants, they impact negative effect on any system they come in contact with. Water pollutants. Water pollutants are the contaminants that enter the water bodies and have negative effect on the system. Uses of water. Water is the foundation of everything that lives. Number 2, water is used in homes for cooking, laundry, etc. Number 3, it serves as solvent in many industries. Many industries use water as their solvent. And a typical example is water purification plant. They use water as the solvent. Number 4, it is used to manufacture drugs. The drugs such as paracetamol, chloroquine, and etc. uses water in the manufacturing process. Questions based on this topic. Number 1, treated water undergoes the following steps except A. Coagulation, B. Sedimentation, C. Precipitation, D. Chlorination. Number 2, one of these is not a water pollutant. A. Petroleum, B. Domestic liquid and solid water, C. Industrial effluents, D. Biodegradable chemicals. Answers to this question. Question number 1, the process that is odd in number 1 is precipitation, because precipitation has to do with substances that is soluble in one and is not soluble in the other. And a typical example is iron 2 tetrasulfate 6, which is soluble in water but not in ethanol. But when ethanol is added to solution of iron 2 in water, it will precipitate iron 2 out. So such a process is not required in water purification. So precipitation is the answer to question number 1. Question number 2, it is biodegradable chemicals, because these chemicals can be subjected to recycling, so they are not injurious to the system. Carbon and its compound. carbon. Carbon is a non-metal. Why? Because it accepts electrons. It does not donate electrons. It only accepts electrons. Another concept that is very important here is what is known as allotropy. Allotropy is the ability of an element to exist in more than one form in the same physical states. Examples of substances that undergo allotropy. The first one is diamonds. Diamonds are the purest form of naturally occurring compound. Their properties are: 1. They are colorless and lustrous solids. They are octahedral in shape. 3. They are the hardest substance known. 4. They have a high melting point. 5. They are very dense and resistant to high temperature and chemical attack. Graphite. We have two allotropes of carbon. The first one is diamond and the second one is graphite. This is the second one that I'm talking about, which is graphite. Properties of graphite: 1. It is soft and flakes easily. 2. It has a high melting point. 3. It is a good conductor of electricity, unlike diamond. Diamonds do not conduct electricity. Number 4. It is less dense and inert to chemical attack. When they say inert, it means it's unreactive. So it is not attacked by chemicals. The combustion of carbon is done in